Hello everyone and welcome back to another Hookster Talks with me, and of course everyone's favourite bear, TB the bear. You may have saw him earlier, or you may have seen him earlier if I can actually do proper English, but yes, you may have seen him earlier, but here he is back again, TB the bear. TB the bear, TB, everyone's favourite bear, and super duper Lewis Hamilton fan, aren't you, TB? Yes. How well's he doing then? Excellent. Well done. That's the kind of blind loyalty that I just love. Yes, I just love. Well done, Lulu. Doing excellent, apparently, according to TB. Right, let's go to the chat. Hello, chat. How you doing? As I make myself a little bit smaller. That's what she said. Hello, Mr. Plynal Plessy. Welcome to the stream. He says, congratulations to Oscar's Pastry on winning the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Yes, indeed. Well done. Hello, Mr. Regal. He says, Max Verstappen, driver of the day. That's a bit controversial. Plynal Plessy says, get Karun Chandok on this all season's rubbish. Yes. What is TB? I don't know. I don't know what he was doing earlier. I've got no control over him. He's his own bear. He's his own person. So I haven't got any control over him. I don't know. Hello, Mr. Will F1. Welcome to the stream. He says, Plynal, stop spamming. The chat's getting spicy already. Guaranteed to have jokes darker than a nighttime escape room. Welcome back to Regala 360. You heard it here first. Oh, and Crystal Racing did grades for the race. Hello, Mr. Polish Eddie. Welcome to the stream, sir. He says, hello. Hope you're doing well, and I hope your move went okay. Hello, Champ92. Welcome to the stream. He says, race fans, I'm still here as well, sadly. Yes, I know. Sadly, you're still here. Sadly, I'm still here as well, but there you go. Hello, Hookster, says Champ92. Hello, sir. Welcome to the stream. Man, I was just in a car. Oh, no. Breaking news, everyone. Now, this is important. Okay? Let's not make jokes about this. Mr. Polish Eddie has been in a car crash a few hours ago. Oh, dear. Well, I hope you're all right, sir. I hope you're all right. Let me know what happened and give me all the insurance details and everything else, because we need to know now in the stream. Dave, what's up? Says Champ92. What's up? Polish Eddie says, it might be totaled. I'm in a lot of pain. Oh, no. As I say that, my Viagra alarm just goes off. Go away, Viagra alarm. Thank you. It might be totaled. I'm in a lot of pain. Oh, no. Dumb girl wanted to cut across oncoming traffic to get to Starbucks. I'm not laughing about the crash, Mr. Eddie. I'm laughing about a woman cutting across traffic to get to Starbucks. Now that's just typical, isn't it? That is just typical. But yes. Oh dear. Well, I hope. Well, he's not okay because he's in a lot of pain. But I hope you're going to be okay. And please remember that the medical services are there if you require them. Wow. Car crash live on not live on the stream, but you know what I mean. Oh my goodness. Yeah, get well soon, says Champ92. Starbucks sucks. Yes. Yeah, Lulu is doing very well. Yes, he is doing very well. Haven't been to Starbucks in 10 years at least. You know what? I don't think I've ever been to a Starbucks. I'm not quite sure. I can't stand coffee. I'm not a fan of coffee whatsoever. In fact, I think I've only ever drunk coffee once, and I went. Obviously, this was back in the God knows 70s, and coffee back in the 70s was it looked like Marmite. If anyone knows what Marmite is, yes, or Vegemite. It might be Vegemite called in other places, but yeah, Marmite. That's what the coffee looked like, and oh my god, it tasted horrible. And I've never drunk coffee since. I'm not a coffee lover. I'm a traditional English person. Yes, I like my nice cup of tea. My nice cup of tea on a nice china plate. Oh no, a nice china cup. Nice china cup. And don't forget, you have to have your little fingy pointed out when you sip from your tea, your cup of tea. As a typical Englishman, you have to have your little pinky finger out. Yes, that's how they do it. You sip on the tea like royalty. Yes, yes. I sit there sipping on my tea, imagining I'm the king of England. I'm the king of England. Yes, and always when you have a cup of tea in England, you have to have a cucumber sandwich. Yes, right next to you, a cucumber sandwich. And let me tell you that some of the mistakes that people make in other countries with cucumber sandwiches. There's no mistakes to make, okay? It's bread, it's white bread, and you put cucumber in it. That's as far as the story goes. You don't even put butter or margarine on the bread. No, because otherwise it makes it go all soggy. No, you just have bread and cucumber. There's no more explaining required. It's just bread and cucumber. And that's a cucumber. That's cut cucumber, obviously. Otherwise, you don't just put the whole cucumber and just wrap it between two slices. Well, you could do. I mean, that would be okay. But no, you have to slice the cucumber up. You have to slice it very thinly as well. Very, very thin. Very thin slices of cucumber to put in your cucumber sandwich with your nice cup of tea in your china cup with your little pinky finger out. And I've just explained the whole of England to everyone out there. That's what we do over here. No, we don't. I'm talking bollocks. I don't think I've ever had a cucumber sandwich in my life either. No. Polish Eddie says, I'm getting a replacement car today and I'll be going to the hospital later because I'm starting to hurt everywhere and my head has a knot in it. Yes, very, very wise, mate. Get to the hospital, get yourself checked out because you don't know. You could have something that you don't know about. There's a problem, and if your head's not feeling good, then definitely go to the hospital because that sounds like it could be a bit of the old whiplash. I don't know how much of an impact it was, but yeah, definitely get yourself checked out. Women in the workplace says, damn, to quote RPM. That was a good RPM vid, says Polish Eddie. Tea time. I love a good cup of tea, sometimes just a squirt of milk in it. Yes, there you go, you see? It's not just the English. Other people like a cup of tea as well. And I do admit, I do like a nice cup of tea, but everything else that I said about was complete bollocks. No, I haven't even got china cups. It's just a mug, okay? And I don't have my little finger pointed out when and I don't have cucumber sandwiches. No. It's just this perception that everybody has about England. Everybody from outside of England has this perception that we all know the king. I don't know the king. I've been to Buckingham Palace, God knows how many times. But just from the outside looking in the gates. I've not actually been in Buckingham Palace. I've just been to Buckingham Palace and seen it from the outside. But everyone in England doesn't know the king. And this is a fascinating fact for you. 99% of the population of England doesn't give a shit about the king either. No. I'm not trying to put the king down because obviously he's not a very well man at the moment. He's been through some trouble, so I'm not trying to put him down in any way. But what I'm saying is your average person on the streets of England does not really give a shit about royalty, the king, or anything like that. No, we just get on with it. Even though the king owns all our houses. Yes, the king owns all our houses, My house I'm talking to you right now is owned by the king. He owns the land that my house, even though I've bought my house, he owns the land that my house is on. At any moment, he could decide he wants that bit of land back. Now, so far, he's not done it. The only times he's done that is bits of land very close to where his own properties are, which is fair enough. He's taken over bits of land. But he could at any point say, Hookster, I want your house because I want that bit of land because I want to knock your house down and build a little farm, little sheep farm full of sheep. That's what he could do. So yeah, and I could be, underneath the flyover in a piece of cardboard, shouting at the raccoons. If we had raccoons in England, which we haven't, but if we did have, I'd be shouting at them definitely. So yes, there you go. Champ 90 says, me neither. Tea not only tastes amazing, but it's also healthy for your stomach. I prefer it any day over coffee, that's for sure. Yes, as I say, I had coffee once, I say back in the 70s, and I say it was like treacle anyway. I've never tried any of these specialised coffees. Oh my God, I've got 2 nieces that are teachers. Yeah, and they're in their 20s, and literally every day it's got to be a coffee. And it's like £5.50 for a coffee. I'm just trying to work out £5.50. That's about That's about $7 for the American viewers out there watching. That's about $7 for a coffee. I'm like, what the? And it's every day. I was like, no. So I've never tried these specialty coffees. They could be okay. I'm not quite sure, but at that price, they better be. At that price, they better be. So yeah, never had a coffee. Only from the 70s, and it was horrible. I've never drunk coffee again. No. Norris was graded F for the race by Crystal Racing. Still a legend though. Crystal Racing, that is. By the way, don't let yourself disturb from the fact that I use more red letters this year. My delusion for Ferrari is still there. Yes. Good old Ferrari. In WEC, they were victorious. I was happy. If I could only just say the same in F1. Mark Webber retires in 2013, becomes Dark Mini in 2014. Raikkonen retired in 2021, became Dark Mini in 2022. Madness. $7 for coffee is madness. Not gonna. Yeah, it is. It is absolutely $7. $7. And I think this was a couple of years ago when they said they were paying near enough $7. So it's probably even higher than that now. Of course, with Mr. Trump and his tariffs. So it's probably even more than that now. Mark Webber, Multi 21. Not just madness, it's a crime, says Champ 92. Yes, absolutely. Planet Player says, I've forgotten about the all seasons that I haven't watched any this week. GB. Mr. Blind of Plessy hasn't watched any all seasons this week. It's unbelievable. Ferrari are better in endurance racing than F1 right now. Multi 21, not yet, says Blind of Plessy. Come on, man. Good old Donald Trump has lost his mind. Well, he's getting on a bit now, and he's 78 years old, so it won't be long before they have to cart him off to the old folks' home. But he's going down without a fight, is old Donald. He's going down without a fight. He's gonna make sure that everyone remembers Donald Trump before the end. Definitely. I swear he has no clue of anything, says Champ. Porsche, Ferrari and Toyota are the top 3 teams in that series now, as I believe. Yes, but BOP makes things exciting there. Now, I had a little. Wait a minute, I got a message from someone. Someone who's usually in the stream, but they're not. They're not in the stream. Ooh. There he is. There he is. As I say, he suddenly turns up. The 43 lesbians are here. The 43 lesbians are here. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Now, I better this character. Yeah, this character. Oh, I better explain some of the titles for this video in case you were saying, Hookster, what are you doing with your clickbaity titles? Yes, I admit it was a clickbaity title, but only because I got it off someone else's channel or newscast, whatever you want to call it. But what did I put at the start of this video? I can't even remember. Hang on a minute. Let's go to the tablet and see what I actually put at the start of this video. Ah, here we go. Hookster talks. Mclaren, there we go. Have Mclaren to withdraw. Now let me explain that. Hi, Lesbos. 43 lesbians is so back. Mclaren to withdraw. Yes, no, shush. I want to read it out. I've got to read it out. So, yes, it may have been a bit of... may have been a bit of clickbait, but there's no F1 this week, so I had to find something. There it is. Now, I have to apologise because I don't know anything about this sport that I'm about to say, so I'm just reading it, okay, but I don't know anything about what I'm saying. And don't you lot suddenly say, well, that's no change from usual then, okay? Right, here we go. Reigning F1 Constructors Champions McLaren have decided to withdraw from the all-electric Formula E category, it has been claimed. It comes just weeks after the manufacturer announced plans to enter the World Endurance Championship featuring the legendary Le Mans 24-hour race from 2027. McLaren have had a presence in Formula E since rebranding the former Mercedes team ahead of the 2022-23 season. The team, which is supported by Saudi Arabian firm Neom, has had limited success since McLaren's involvement, winning just a single race over the last 3 seasons. Sam Bird, a Formula E regular and a former Mercedes F1 tester, and Taylor Barnard are currently racing for the team. A report by the race has claimed that Zak Brown, the McLaren chief executive, informed team principal Ian James that the manufacturer will end their support of the team ahead of the 2026-2027 season. The decision was reportedly communicated at a Jeddah E Grand Prix in February, an event that took place on a heavily modified version of the circuit which hosted last week's Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. McLaren's decision to withdraw has left James with the task of finding alternative commercial naming and manufacturer partners ahead of the 2026-27 era, which will mark the beginning of Formula E's so-called Gen 4 era featuring new cars. There you go. I do apologise. I had no idea what I was saying, but I was just reading the words. But so yeah, McLaren have withdrawn, not from Formula 1, as probably some people were suspecting and clicked on the video, but no, from Formula E. Formula E, yes. Okay. Right, how are we doing in the chat? Let's go, McLaren. I am a Ferrari fan, says Champ92, but to be fair, McLaren has been the better team as of yet so far, and Oscar Piastri is really on a roll. Yes, Oscar is doing really well. In my video on Monday, I actually decided to come out and give my support to Oscar as world champion for 2025. Now, this is going to be a very tall order, of course, because you've got Maxi Boy Verstappen, who is not going to give up the championship without a fight. He is definitely not in the best car this year. That's clear. But he still has, well, he's Max Verstappen. Let's put it that way. So he's still got enough in the tank to beat both the drivers at McLaren, so he could still become world champion. It's going to be a real fight. But I've backed Oscar's pastry, just like I backed Lando Norris for 2024, and yeah, we all know how well that turned out. So yeah, Max Verstappen, world champion 2025. Yay! Annoying, just as I was beginning to really get into milk floats racing. There you go, says 43 lesbians. Just get into milk floats racing. Yes, if anyone doesn't know, that's the reason why I can't get into Formula E. Because my dad used to be a milkman, and he used to drive the milk floats. And when I was 7 years old, I used to go out with him at 4 o'clock in the morning in the freezing cold to help him do his deliveries. I was only 7. I just want to emphasise that. 7. Freezing cold to help him with his deliveries. Now, back those days, a milk float, well, it was completely open to the elements. Okay, there was no back on it. It was just like a cover where you stored all the milk. And then this milk float, which was electrically driven. Yes, back those in the days, that was electric milk float. Yes, electrically driven. And it had side doors on it. But the thing was, you were constantly getting out of the cab. So you just left the doors open. Okay? And there was no heat inside the cab whatsoever. No. Because this was the 1970s. There was no heaters in the cab. So the doors were left open, and we're talking 4 o'clock in the morning temperatures in the winter. Like, so, you know, really bloody cold. And I was 7 years old, and I used to help him with the deliveries. But that's the thing that stuck with me all these years, is the fact that the noise that those milk floats used to make is exactly the same noise that the Formula E cars make. So it just every time I see Formula E, and I've never actually seen it, but I've seen clips of it, and I hear that noise, it just reminds me of that time when I was 7 years old, freezing my balls off, delivering milk, or helping me dad deliver milk. And it's just, I just can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I got PTSD. So I can't. So that's the reason why I don't watch Formula E. The other reason why I don't watch Formula E is because it went on a pay-per-view, didn't it? I think now it's free again, but you had to pay to watch it, and now you don't have to pay to watch it. But that was one other reason why I didn't watch it. So yeah, I had to stay away from Formula E. As I've said in the past, if Formula 1 ever goes to electric, that'll be it for me. I won't bother be watching Formula 1. All the time there's some kind of combustible engine in the back of those F1 cars. I don't care if it's a lawnmower engine, because I think that's how it's going to go eventually. The electrical power is going to be so high that the actual engine in the back of the car is going to be probably like a 950cc or something. That's definitely how it's going, you can see. Especially if you look at next year's car, where it's now going to be a 50-50 split between electrical power and engine power, which we haven't had so far. I think it's 70-30. 70 for the engine and 30 for the electrical power. But next year it's going to be a 50-50 split, straight down the middle. And you can see definitely in years to come that electrical power is going to get even more and more and more. So you're going to end up with about 75% electrical power and 25% coming off the engine, which means the engine won't need to be very, very powerful indeed. As I say, you could stick a 1000cc engine in the back of that, and it's going to be fine. So eventually they'll end up with lawnmower engines. Yeah, they'll be sponsored by Flymo, because that's what they'll have in the back of those cars, little Flymo engines. Yes, and that's okay. That's okay. I will still be fine with that, as long as there's an engine in there. I'll still be there. But if they ever scrap that completely and go fully electric, I shall say bye bye, and I'm out of here. We're going to Miami next, like Will Smith. Yes, Will Smith. Whatever happened to Will Smith? Oh yeah, I remember. Will Smith, the famous slapping incident at the Oscars. Who remembers that? That was a few years ago now, wasn't it? Blimey. A couple of years ago. And how's his career been since? pretty much in the toilet. In the toilet. Yes. In the toilet. I don't know what he was expecting, to be honest. I don't know what he was expecting, but there you go. There you go. Will Smith. It's a shame. I've loved a lot of Will Smith's movies. Really. You know, he was back in his day. Prime Will Smith. Bit of a genius, has to be said. Bit of a genius. Lots of behind the scenes that he's also a complete arsehat, but then, let's face it, most actors are, really, aren't they? Behind the scenes. They really are. So, you know, you can't. But I'm just talking from a creative point of view. Prime Will Smith was absolutely brilliant. I love Prime Will Smith, yes. But over the years, these past few years, nah. And unfortunately, with the slapping incident, that just did it for me. And Will Smith, no. As they say in Dragon's Den, I'm out of here. No change from usual. Norris will continue slapping into the wall. Yes, he will. Yes, he will, because he's Chief Bottle Job Lando Norris. I'm not mentally strong enough. I'm sorry. That's his new catchphrase now. New catchphrase. I'm still not over why he'd even say that, but there you go. Hello, Mr. DJM99. Hey all, I'm late again. How's everyone doing? We're all doing super fine. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you so much for asking. Part of the place says nobody watches Formula E. Love it. Well, I'm not missing much then, am I? I'm not missing much if nobody watches Formula E. Now, one of the other things I said on the video, on the title of the video, is I have some exciting news. And as I've just read out, DJM99, here is the exciting news, which is going to please you. I know all you lot out there have been appealing to me for some more retro stuff, which is basically the cornerstone of my channel. All the retro stuff is what it's the foundations, the brickwork of my channel. Everything else is just flotsam on the top, but the foundation of this channel has always been the retro stuff. Well, I've got some exciting news, but I don't want to give too much away but I'm very excited. Okay? But there will be some retro stuff appearing again in the near future. Not straight away, because I'm still sorting out the R&D technicalities, but I'm almost there. I've been testing, and what I've done is it's working fine. So very soon, I should be able to start recording. I don't want to give too much away, but I will just say that it ticks all the boxes that you've asked for in regards to retro stuff. It ticks all the boxes. So I'm very excited to say that retro stuff will be, I'm just calling it retro stuff, that's not what it's going to be, but will be returning to this channel. And it'll be different. It'll be something new. Yes, something new. But I'm not going to say anymore. I know at least 3 people who watch Milk Floats. Yes, the last 2 years there have been at least. In fact, congrats to Mclaren for their nomination for Sports Team of 2024. Back in these days, we had proper winters. Back in those days, we had proper. Yes, we did. Back in those days, yes. They complain about climate change, but they should have been around in the 70s. Oh my God, that was what you call cold weather. Really was. And don't forget, I was only 7 years old. I mean, 7 years old, and I was out there helping my old man deliver the milk, and it was freezing, absolutely bloody freezing. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it now, and it was Christ knows how many years ago, 49 years ago. It was 49 years ago. I still remember it like it was yesterday. All I can remember is the cold, the absolute freezingness of the... Oh my God. I'm fine, says Champ92. Good, thanks. Half asleep though. That's me every day. Probably says Formula E was on too many channels. Yes. Reminds me a little bit of Formula One back in the day, for anyone remembers when that was on so many channels as well. It was on the BBC, it was on Eurosport as well, both at the same time, only with different commentators. And I think it was on somewhere else as well at the same time with different commentators. It was like 3 different channels. I wouldn't say nobody, but it's not a series that really draws the majority of interest. ITV4, Channel 5, BBC iPlayer, Quest, Eurosport, Channel 4, TNT Sports, and back to ITV4. Oh my God, was it really on all of those? I remember it on Channel 5. I remember seeing it on there in the programme guide. But I didn't know it was on all of those as well. Bloody hell. I know, and TNT Sports was the one you had to pay for, wasn't it? Yes. All the others you don't have to. Oh my goodness. No wonder nobody watches it. Nobody can find out where it is. Formula E says DJM99, Mickey Mouse cars on Mickey Mouse tracks. Yep, pretty much. Dave, your take on the next year's Engine Regs 2026. It's going to be a Frankenstein car. I mean, less brake horsepower than F2. Yes, it is going to be a Frankenstein car next year. It's going to be a huge revolution, or is it evolution, of the engine regulations. They're getting rid of one of the components of the engine. I think it's the MGUH. I think it is. The unit generator heat. Or is it the kinetic? I'm not quite... No, it can't be the kinetic because that's to do with the battery power, isn't it? So I think it's the H they're getting rid of. The horsepower is going to be drastically reduced. I think they're currently running at about 850, something like that, on the current cars. It's going to be reduced to something ridiculous like between 450 and 500. That's a huge drop. But that's going to be made up for in the electrical power of the engine, which is up from, I believe it's 25%, roughly 25 to 30% this year. It's going to be up to 50%. It's going to be a straight 50-50 split for the engine next year. But they still say, or the engineers at the moment still say, that's going to result in upwards of 4 seconds a lap slower than these current cars for 2025. Now, 4 seconds a lap is a huge margin. Now, these regulations have come in before in Formula One, been huge regulation changes, and it doesn't take very long for the designers, the engineers, to basically get the cars back up to speed again. So if they start next year in Australia 4 seconds a lap slower, I'm pretty sure about halfway of the season they'll catch two of those seconds up again. So they'll only end up about a couple of seconds slower by about the mid part of the season. That's what I'm betting, because as I say, it doesn't take long. Engineers are very, very clever people. Well, they're the best in the business, aren't they? Otherwise they wouldn't be in Formula One. So they're very, very clever people, and I'm pretty sure they'll add that up to 2 seconds. But yes, for the start of next year's season, 4 seconds. I mean, it's not gonna be visible on screen. You're not gonna notice any difference. But those lap times, 4 seconds, are gonna be huge. Now, I'm just wondering whether they'll have to make any adjustments to the lap count, whether they'll have to reduce like 1 or 2 laps to every Grand Prix, because otherwise it could overrun the time. I'm not quite sure about that. They might just leave it, and the races will be a little bit longer, because as long as they stay within the 2 hour limit, they're okay. Although I believe that was increased to 3 hours a few years ago. Who knows with the FIA and their regulations, but it used to be 2 hours. As long as you got the racing within 2 hours, you were okay. But we will see what happens. But yes, huge ramifications for the engine next year. And of course, next year, this is why I'm looking forward to next year. I really am looking forward to next year, because it's a completely clean slate. Everyone starts from a blank piece of paper next year, unlike what's happening at the moment in 2025, because basically they're just evolutionising their engines from last year and just carrying it on to this year, and they've been doing that for the past 3 or 4 years before the last regulation change. Just, it's an evolution of last year's car, but for next year, slate is wiped clean. Everyone starts from a clean sheet of paper, which I love. This is why they do regulation resets. It's purely to, start again, so everyone starts from a blank sheet of paper, and I love it. I really do. So yes, engines will be down on horsepower. I understand, or I'm not 100% sure because I'm not a technical person, but I understand the engines will be gravity fed as well in the fuel department, whereas now they're fuel injected, they will be gravity fed. Gravity fed is basically like a carburetor, only it's not going to, there won't be carburetors in the engines because carburetors are now a very outdated technology. But instead of being directly injected, it'll just be gravity fed, which means it just flows in there. The fuel just flows into the engine instead of actually being squirted in, forced in, injected in. That's what fuel injection does. It injects the fuel into the engine very, very fast, and it won't be doing that. It'll just be gravity fed, will mean that the fuel will be above the level of the engine, so it basically just drops down into the engine. Drops down. That's my understanding. That's a very layman's terms for what's happening. It's probably a lot more complicated than that, but yes, the fuel injection will be removed from next year as well, so that could also have implications. And of course, once again, they're lowering the maximum fuel level in the car. I mean, a few years ago, I think it was 130, whatever it's measured in, litres or whatever. Then it went down to 100 and it was down to 80. I understand next year it's going to be something ridiculous like 60 litres or something like that. So yeah, that's going to be another factor because they don't need the fuel because 50% of the power is going to be supplied by the electrics. So they don't need as much fuel in the car because it's not going to get used. So yeah, that's going to be another factor. And of course, the design of the cars is going to change. We're going to have these bendy front wings. Of course, anyone who's watched a McLaren will say that they've always had bendy front wings. Yes, but McLaren have been possibly the biggest team that has been stretching the regulations to the point of their total limits, I would say. Yes, they're still within the regulations, but they really push it to the limit. But next year, officially, you will be allowed to have bendy wings. Yes, officially, next year you've had bendy wings. And understand that the front wings next year will have like a DRS effect where they'll actually move up and down just like the rear wing as well. This all sounds great, absolutely great. And I hope that it's going to improve the show next year because we've had quite a few boring races at the moment and it looks like we could have quite a few more boring because, as I say, it's the last year of the current regulations. There's not a lot of movement. In terms of developments, and the teams aren't going to want to spend money on putting developments on the car for this year when the whole of this car is going to be scrapped at the end of the year. They'll put on minor, the usual wing changes, element designs to the wing. They'll have all that, but they do that every year anyway. But as for putting anything major onto the car, they're not going to bother because, as I say, all the cars in the bin at the end of the season because they've got to start again with these brand new cars. So they'll be in the bin. So I don't foresee any kind of revolution. And if you're looking at that, the pecking order of the cars at the moment, I'm pretty sure there'll be a few cars making progress. I think the Ferraris will probably be a little bit better towards the end of the season or even the middle point of the season. But apart from that, I can't see anyone sort of make any big strides because, as I say, those developments aren't going to go on the car. They're not going to go on the car because they'll be in the bin. So it's going to be pretty much the pecking order of what you're seeing now is going to continue. There'll be races when other teams are doing well. Ferrari will probably come in and do a few good races. McLaren will probably, have a few bad races, then some good races. But as far as development, it's not going to be there. So what we've got now is probably what we're going to have for the rest of the season. But next year, of course, clean slate of paper. And also, a lot of the engines are going to be different. Of course, this is the last year that Red Bull have their unofficial partnership with Honda. I mean, it's Honda basically left a couple of years ago, but they're still using the Honda engine. And it's still, the Honda name is still there. It's very, very tiny now, but it's still there. But Honda themselves really pulled out a couple of years ago. So can't be bothered anymore. So yeah, but for the first time ever, for Red Bull next year, they will be making their own engines themselves, called the Red Bull powertrain. Ford have been with Red Bull, I think, since start of last year, in fact, because they've been trying to, learn how these hybrid engines work, because they've never actually made a hybrid engine. But they're only doing the electrical side, because that was the only way that the FIA would let Ford into the sport. They didn't want another major manufacturer supplying engines. So this was a backdoor way for Ford to get in, because they're only doing the electrical power, which is allowed, apparently. Is allowed. But yes, so it'll be a Red Bull powertrains engine. Red Bull themselves, they've built an add-on addition to their factory, which actually is going to be making these engines. They're probably making the engines now, to be fair. They're probably all ready and packed in big crates ready for next year to go. But it'll be an exclusive Red Bull engineering designed engine. And that's going to be very exciting. Very exciting for two reasons. One, it could come out of the gates absolutely brilliant and be a McLaren 1998 and destroy everyone. Two, it could be an absolute disaster like Honda in 2015 and end up blowing up every couple of races. So there's all that to look forward to next year. Oh my God. Bendy wings, horsepower reductions, gravity-fed fuel, and the unsuredness of the Red Bull powertrain. Yes, it's going to be exciting next year, I'll tell you. Going to be exciting. As I say that, it probably won't be. But yeah, there you go. Steam engines, electrical engines, internet mobile engines, watching Formula 1 until the day I'm deleted. Good, me too. Will Smith went to shit, sadly. Yes, he did. I used to like him as well. Good actor, Prime Will. Yes, he was. Prime Will, he was a great actor. I liked him basically because he did a lot of science fiction stuff, and anyone who's a regular follower of me will know that I'm seriously into the science fiction stuff, and he did a lot of sci-fi stuff, so I was very good with that. But sadly, nah. Norris is just a case to forget at this point. Yes, hard to say, but well, that's like... No, it is. Norris is, yeah. 1998 Will Smith, 1 year wonder. McLaren should prioritise Oscar from here. Yes, they should. Now, they should put all their eggs into the Oscar pastry basket. Yes, and come up with a nice souffle. But yes, they should do, because he's leading the championship. Not by very many points, but he is still leading the championship. And I think he's got a good chance. He's just got to keep Max Verstappen behind him. If he does that, every race, he's got a good chance. It really has. Norris is the top 75 Formula 1 driver of all time. Yay! More retro stuff, says DJ. Yes, I'm very excited. I've actually spent about 12 hours over the last 2 days trying to sort this out. I spent about 12 hours over the last 2 days trying to sort this out, and yeah, I'm very happy, in fact, that I have managed to sort it out, and it's working to such a good degree. But it is also something completely different. It's the same, but it's different. That's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to spoil it on here until I've actually done it, because it could end up that something could go terribly wrong and it won't work out. But at the moment, it looks fine. It really does. So I'm hoping that we will be back at some point. Will F1 says Norris needs sacking. Ooh, harsh, Will, harsh. Now come on. We've got Liam Lawson, don't forget. Now, that's probably a driver that, I don't know, should he still be in the sport? What about Gabriele Bortoletto? Oh my goodness, almost destroying Fernando Alonso in the last race. And that's his boss. I mean, Bortoletto, at the start of the season, before it started, out of the 6 rookies, I was bigging him up and saying he's got the most experience, which he has got. Most experience, and I'm expecting him to do well. Hasn't been the case. Obviously, he is driving a toilet in that Sauber, which is an absolute toilet. But Nico Hulkenberg, don't forget, got 6 points at the moment. And he's doing pretty decent. So, yeah, there's a lot of drivers out there that probably shouldn't be there, but they are still at the moment. So I think Lando Norris being sacked is probably very low down the priority at the moment when you've got, I say, at least 2 or 3 other drivers that are doing very poorly. Another one I think is Jack Doohan. I don't think he's doing very well. Obviously, you've got to give them a chance. They're rookies. But as I've said before, if you come into Formula One, you're coming in already as the best of the best. You're not a rookie when you come into Formula One because most of them have done other formulas. So you're really not a rookie and you're expected to perform straight away these days. Like I say, you can't get away with what you used to be able to get away with back in the day when there were so many teams on the grid just competing for qualifying positions, and you could hide in the background and not really get noticed. Ricardo Rossi. But you can't do that nowadays because there's only 20 cars, 20 drivers. You've got to perform straight away. And as we've seen with Liam Lawson, he didn't perform straight away, so Red Bull got rid of him. Because, you've got to be there from day one. Otherwise, you're out. Because that is the harsh reality of F1 these days. Yes. I mean, some of those drivers back in the days, like the 80s and the 90s, when there was 36 drivers, some of those drivers should never even been in Formula One. No, because they were bloody hopeless. What was that other one? Suspirio? I think that was another driver. He was just ridiculously slow. Ridiculously slow. But yeah, so I think Norris, it'll be a long time before Norris gets the sack. Let's put it that way. Well, top 75 just because he's won 5 races, but at least he's finished second in 2024. Norris completely bottled the 2024 championship and he's doing the same this year. Yes. Lambo title on the throttle. Saya is in tears when Lando crashed in Q3 as the moaning Yorkshireman predicted. 100 years ago, Dave. Yes. The breaking point rubbish was announced. Yes, I've got to do that in a minute because unfortunately the channel name is F1 Games PlayStation. So we've got to do it. Freezing cold, Dave. Yes, it was freezing cold. I don't give a crap about stupid story modes. Rubbish says Will F1. Yes, I agree with you. I remember Formula E on ITV4 because I watched the first ever one. Wow. No, I never watched the first one. Who's looking forward to the absolute disaster that will be F1 25? Me! I'm looking forward to it. Me! I love it. Yes, I do. I love it. What I love most is the disillusionment that occurs pretty much 5 minutes after I first fire up the game. Well, actually, when I first fire up the game, it's on a YouTube stream to everyone's watching because that's what I do. I fire up the game live, and not even touching it. I just load it up, make sure it's ready to go, and I fire it up live. So the reaction you lot see is my live reaction. And the disillusionment happens very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. Gaming wagging his tail again. F1 gaming wagging his tail again. Yes. Formula E has almost always been on Eurosport. Thank you, Will. Let's spell rubbish. Formula E would be alright if they got rid of the attack mode. Well, unfortunately, I have no idea what you're talking about, 43 lesbians, but I will go with you. Yes, get rid of the attack mode. I thought it was always an unnecessary mode to be I don't know what I'm talking about. Attack mode doesn't need to be gone. They just need to tweak the rules a bit. There you go. Surely they don't need to change that much on the cars if they're only getting rid of one of the parts of the engine. Well, apparently, yes, they do have to change quite a bit of the cars, even though they're getting rid of one. Yes, I think it's the MGUH. It is, yes. The heat component of the engine is going. And Lewis Hamilton found the clip of Nico Prost taking out Nick Heidfeld in the first ever Formula E race 3 years after that race began. Yes. He said he was keeping an eye on other formulas by reposting the crash from 3 years ago. Ooh. I remember that, says Will F1. 3 years and 3 months later, actually. Formula E, do they still have the ridiculous fan boost, says DJM99. I'm not quite sure, mate. Well, you'll have to ask everyone else. Oh, Will says, no, that went after 2022. Well, you drop weight with no power. Very sad, to be honest. That's true. That's true. Just wait until they introduce fan boost in F1. No. No, Mr. 43 Lesbians. We do not want fan boost in F1. I don't even know what it is, but it sounds horrific, so we don't want it. Probably unlimited DRS for some drivers who cannot overtake. Norris. Ah, yes, talking about fan boost and DRS. DRS is also going for next year. I forgot to mention that. Kind of. DRS is going, but because you've got 50% electrical power now in the engine instead of the 25 to 30%, what you'll have now is a boost button. A boost button. Yes. Now, if anyone remembers Knight Rider back in the 80s, and you remember Kit, he had the turbo boost. Well, that's what the drivers next year are going to have. They're going to have a turbo boost. Yes. Which means they press the button, they're all going to spring back in their seats like that, and they're going to jump over each other. No, seriously, that's what's going to happen next year. I can't wait. I can't wait, yes. It's going to activate the turbo boost, and he's going to go and jump over the car in front. That's what we need to bring the viewers into F1. Yes, turbo boost. Jump over the car in front. Don't try and pass him. Don't try any of that DRS crap. Jump over the car in front. No. Joking aside, yes, there is going to be a boost button that the driver will be able to activate. But it's, I think, if I remember reading, it's 8 seconds, and it runs out of boost. But it's twice as powerful as the current DRS system that they've got on the car. Twice as powerful. Yes. So that could be great, or it could be scary. Because twice as powerful as the DRS. DRS, a lot of people have complained because it's overpowered. And now this one's going to be twice. Oh my goodness. But it's only going to last 8 seconds. That could be fun. Now, I'm guessing that as soon as you hit the brake pedal, that's going to be switched off, obviously. Otherwise, they'll all go flying into the barrier with their turbo boost going. So yes, obviously, as soon as you hit the brake pedal, that's going to switch itself off. But yeah, you're going to get 8 seconds of turbo boost. Then I understand, I think it's going to be recharged, and then you get another 8 seconds every single lap again. Something like that anyway. The regulations haven't been fully released. You won't get that until next year, but this is just what people have been saying around the internet. So yeah, it's going to have a turbo boost button instead of the. I'm not quite sure whether it's going to still have some kind of DRS flap that opens, but I understand it's not going to be. It's not going to open as much as it does now. It's only going to be sort of half open, and then it's going to be combined with this turbo boost button as well. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see when the regulations are revealed, which probably won't be until next year. But yeah, it sounds exciting. I can't wait for the turbo boost. I can't wait for the turbo boost button. Wouldn't that be great though if they did actually jump over the car in front? Oh my god, yeah. Oh, not going to happen. It's just in my head, but yeah, I think that'd be great. Probably unlimited. Oh yeah, thanks, Will. Now, if they do that, it's going to mean that Drive of the Day thing is weird enough by now. That's true. Ain't like SD Bestie Ocon. Fan boost didn't even add anything to the races, to be honest. It's Liberty. Never underestimate their desperation for extra fan milking. This is true. As good as MV was last weekend, but he wasn't Driver of the Day to me by a long shot, as Mason his pole was. But if Kimi Antonelli with 18 knows how to let someone by and give up the position, you would. That's true. Williams operated smoothly with Carlos Sainz Jr. Yeah, he did all right. Expect the same from the 27-year-old Verstappen. Liberty Media. They own both F1 and MotoGP. Way to go to kill both categories then. Can't wait for Dawn Boss at the week at some point. If you look up the company he runs, you'll know why. Dawn Boss of the week. Bottas is the worst ever driver to win double-digit Formula 1 races ever. Let's see what this active aero will and can create in terms of the show in F1. Yes. Yeah, we'll have to see what this active aero does, whether it will improve the show. Trouble is, it's been said very many times before, don't forget in 2022, Ross Brawn, who helped design the current cars, said, oh, the overtaking is going to be improved a lot and it's going to be really exciting. Did that actually come to fruition? No, it didn't, did it? No, and Ross seems to have disappeared lately on some kind of weird gardening leave, because I haven't seen Ross Brawn around for years. In fact, ever since he designed the cars, he seems to have disappeared. Very weird. Ross, where are you? Where are you, Ross? Damon Hill exists. Yes, he does. EA F1 26 will perhaps be interesting with the changes. Yes, I admit. Yes, EA 26 will probably be interesting. Might even be worth playing. Damon Hill is a waste of space, says Jeff 92. Bottas was way worse than Damon Hill. Bottas was useless. Nothing wrong with Damon, says DJM 99. I grew up with racers like him as well, but on a personal level, he is unbearable. Damon Hill, Bottas, come on. Herbert as well. F1 26 will probably be the last game in the series for a while. It could be. It could be. But don't forget, it's made by EA. And they'll probably milk it until the cows come home. As I've said, they do a lot of sport games, and a lot of those sport games are going down the Swanee. They're not as popular as they used to be. But if they make like 6, 7, 8 of these games, and they come in at a couple of million copies sold, which is equivalent of an AAA rated game, they're still going to keep making them, because why not? The money's still coming in. It's just coming in from different sources. You know, it's coming in from 6 games instead of 1 game, but the money's still coming in. So it's still, you know, worth it for them to keep making them. Unfortunately, the only way I think it'll stop is if the F1 game sells like 1,000 copies, and then EA will look at that and go, yeah, okay, time to go. But I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. It's still going to sell just enough to justify still being made every year, and that's going to be a huge problem. Huge problem. They just talk too much. Double digits is 10 or more, for anyone confused. Can't wait for Fall to be the new 2015 Honda. Yes. Me too. Me too. It could happen, or it could turn out to be a brilliant engine. So is 69. Nice. 69 in. Get Holly Samos on this all season's rubbish, says Mr. Plynal Plessy. Yes. And 43. Plynal, stop spamming. Insert name on this all season's rubbish. Get Will F1 on this all season's rubbish. I would do, but I don't think he's ever spoken on the internet. On the internet. I wish he would speak on the internet, because then I'd grab him. Not personally, Will. Not personally. I'm talking about your voice. I'd grab that voice. Oh my God, I'd grab that voice. All I need, Will, is 30 seconds. 30 seconds. That's all my AI robot needs. And then we'll have a Will F1 voice. Yes. Trouble is, I'd probably use it a little bit too much. Because that's me. But yes, I just need 30 seconds, Will. 30 seconds. And we'll have a Will F1 AI voice. There you go. There you go. Spam. Nah, don't massacre my boy Gabby like that. Bortoletto drives a wheelie bin. That's true. That's true. Yeah, as I said, he does drive a toilet. So we'll have to see what happens. Just like Hulkenberg. I mean, Hulkenberg is bloody amazing in qualifying. He is. He's also amazing in not getting podiums. That one is getting old. Like, I mean, we all know the circumstances why Hulkenberg never came on a podium, but you're right, that's sadly true. Canada has probably won race of the year most in recent years at least. I also have noticed how good of data gathering Hulk does for Sauber. It's valuable for Audi next year. Fan boost is not needed in Formula 1. What's the F1 breaking point free trailer? Yes, I will be getting to that in a moment, Mr. Lionel Plessy. Boost button. Fan boost, my understanding is that the fans vote who is their favourite driver. The driver then receives more power for a limited time. Is that right? Is that what happened? Again, Mickey Mouse, yeah. Oh my god, I'm glad I didn't watch Formula E then. I've seen on social media posts from Aston Martin F1 Newey with Alonso. I lost my hope for Aston Martin in 2025. It's clear as day that they focus for 2026 mainly, and I can understand, only wondering which position they will finish by the end of the season. They need more money for R&D too. Yeah, it looks clear that they have concentrated on 2026, which is sad. I don't like seeing Alonso so far back and not even getting the points either, because that's gonna lack motivation for the old man. Because once us old people lack motivation, we decide to hang it up. And as he's nearly 44 years old, he could do. I think he'll stay though for 2026 just to see these new cars, because it'll be something new. And wouldn't he be absolutely gutted if he left after this year and then he found out the 2026 cars really suited him? Oh, he'd be absolutely gutted, wouldn't he? So I think Alonso will stay at least for next year, just to see how these new cars go. That team is ninth best car. Diabolical. They really want the extra wind tunnel time. That's why they rely on from the POV, it seems. Lando Norris in tears for 2 qualifying sessions in a row. Meanwhile, Leclerc carries red dustbins. Charles is bloody great. My pick is doing well. Yeah, he is. Hamilton should just retire at this point. Controversial, Will. Controversial. He says Hamilton should retire at this point. Well, don't forget, I've been saying for ages now that I think Lewis has reached the end, personally. It's nothing to be ashamed of. As I say, most sportsmen have got a time limited where they're at their peak. And in tennis, it's something ridiculous. I think for men, 32, 34, something like that. Because you just injure yourself and you just can't carry on because the injuries start mounting up and then that's it. So it's 32, 34. Lewis is almost 40 now. Yes, I know about Fernando Alonso, but don't forget Fernando Alonso took a break from Formula 1 and came back. Lewis has been constantly in Formula 1. So he's actually done more years than Fernando Alonso has because he hasn't taken a break. And I just feel that Lewis is just reaching the end now. The end, the natural end of his career. And let's face it, it's been a great career. 7 times world champion. You can't sniff at that. I know lots of people have said, yeah, it's because he's in the best car. It's because he's in the best car. It doesn't matter if he's in the best car or not. Whoever finishes in first place and crosses that finish line is the winner. And whoever does that and continues to do that and is world champion is the world champion. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the car's unbeatable or not. You've still won it. You've still won it. I mean, you could say the same about Nigel Mansell in 1992. That car was unbeatable and he won the championship. Did he deserve to? Of course he deserved to win it. It was just circumstances. That's all. Just circumstances. Whoever wins that is the winner. You can't moan about anything like that. Lewis 5 tenths behind Charles is crazy work. Alonso might retire, might not. Hamilton may end up leaving next year, who knows. Thing is though, Hamilton probably has other things he wants to do, like his fashion and music. Did you really say fashion? Fashion and music stuff. Yeah, he might do. He might do. I mean, all of his adult life, Lewis has been in Formula 1. Just take a minute to think about that. All of his adult life and his childhood, all of his childhood, he has been in motor racing, from karting. We've all seen that video. It's still on YouTube of him when he's, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old going around in the go-karts. So from very young age, all the way through, his whole life has been motor racing. And he's never taken a break from that. a lot of people don't understand because we just watch it on the TV and go, oh yeah, another boring race. Those guys, the preparations they have to go through every single day, there is, obviously they get days off, but during the season, it's very hard work. And he's been doing that for God knows how long. And I've said it before, he just looks tired. Lewis just looks tired. He looks like he's ready for a nice long year off somewhere, sitting on a beach, sipping on martinis or whatever. I think that's what he needs. In fact, he should go and do that and then come back. He should take a year off and then come back. Because I think it'll be a lot better if he did. He'd be like Fernando Alonso when he came back to Aston Martin. I just think that's what he should do. Because he just looks really, really tired. Exactly. The winner is the winner. You do multiple races. Yeah, that's it. I'm back, says 43. Well, in order to keep Hamilton, they have to keep him happy. They have to make sure that they give him a car in which he can adapt to. Sure, it's now 5 races in. I'm sure they can do that as he does. Yeah, that's true. He has been complaining that the torque curve of this Ferrari is totally different from the Mercedes. And that's basically, the torque curve is the way it responds when you're going up and down the gears. It's a lot more different. And if anyone uses manual gears, they will know exactly what he's talking about, because it is different when you're going up and down the gears. If you use automatic, you really don't notice. But if you're using manual gears, it is a lot different. So I can understand what he's on about. Yes, only with Mercedes engines in his back. Yes, that's also the catch. To be fair, because he's winning a lot. It's hard for us fans only to cope to understand what this means and to digest that, but I can understand in terms of the physical and mental level. It's yeah, it is absolutely crazy. As I say, we just sit there in our comfy armchairs on a Sunday, lying back, having a nice drink, and going, oh God, this race is boring. Come on, get on with it, you lot, get on with it. As I say, the preparation, the mental preparation, the physical preparation. We've all seen that video. I think it's on Quadrant. You've probably all seen it because it's got like crazy amount of views. I think 10 million views or something, 4 million, something like that. Anyway, it's got a crazy amount of views with Lando Norris when he's got this hat on and he's doing the like that for his neck to keep the strength in his neck. Oh my God, it's crazy, the preparation. As I say, we sit in a chair watching it, but the things that those guys go through is just absolutely crazy. It really is, absolutely. And we I don't think appreciate that. Really don't. Show everyone my F1 okay, everyone. Mr. 43, he's made his own F1 calendar. Okay, I'm gonna show it. So tell me what you think. Well, he also needs his fans, as us race fans, to do that. And I know how far he came in live thanks to Team LH in the first place, especially with Mercedes. Okay, I'm going to show the calendar. These guys are athletes. Hell, the champion is pretty much always nominated for I can't read that. Whatever it says. A few of them even won. That's true. Yeah, they are athletes. Yeah, you're not a driver, you're an athlete. And you can understand why. Right, let's close this out a minute so we can not reveal personal information. Ah, here we go. Right, this is Mr. 43 Lesbians F1 calendar. Tell me what you think. So we start in Australia at Albert Park, of course, the classic that I think starting of any season, and so I agree there, absolutely. Second goes to Malaysia, another classic circuit that is fortunately not on the calendar anymore, but always was a great one. Third, on to Singapore. Well, it's the Singapore sling. What more can you say? Then on to Japan. Then China, the Chinese Grand Prix. On to India. Now, a lot of people didn't like that circuit, the India circuit. I thought it was pretty decent, at least playing it in the computer games. In real life, I understand it wasn't very popular. I understand it wasn't very popular with the drivers because apparently it was a shithole. Yes. Yes. Sorry, India, but apparently it was a shithole. So, yeah, it wasn't very popular. Then we got Bahrain. Then for the 8th race, this is rather an unusual one. The Morocco Casablanca International Circuit. There you go. And then for the 9th race, we got Spain, the Ricardo Tormo Circuit. France, Paul Ricard is the 10th one. United Kingdom, Silverstone. Well, what more can be said? Then we got Zandvoort for the 12th race. Belgium, Classic Spa. Austria, Classic Austria. And Italy, Classic Monza. Those 3 races, yes. Then, for race 16, my favourite edition, that I think I actually said to you in the comments, my favourite edition, the Turkey Grand Prix at the Istanbul Park. Oh, I just love that circuit. So sad when we lost Turkey. Really. Those 3 sort of apex turns, if anyone remembers that at Turkey, where you just go flat out and you're going through 3, I think it's right-handers, or it might be left-hand, I can't remember. It's one of them two, see if you're left or right. But those 3 apex turns, we just go flat out. Glorious. Now they tried to simulate that on one of the recent racetracks. Which one is it? That bloody one in America. No. Is it Qatar? Might be Qatar. But it doesn't work as well. No, it's horrible, in fact. The whole circuit's horrible. Anyway, Classic Canada. And we got Koto. Well, it's not everyone's favourite, but it's a decent track. Mexico, of course, is always one of my favourites. Now, controversially, for number 20, we got the Argentina Juan Manuel Fangio International Street Circuit. Argentina, yes. And for the last round of the championship, this is what I like, 21 rounds, not too many rounds of a championship, 24 we got at the moment, is of course Brazil Interlagos. Yes, that is a classic ending for a season, I must admit. So there you go then. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Some races are my own circuit designs. There you go. It's crazy. When I started watching F1 the first time since I can remember, it was the 1998 season, in which they used to have a minimum of 17 races per year, or as in 2003, for example, 16, and now they have 24. I know. I'm bored, everyone, says 43 lesbians. And let's not forget the sprints as well. Yes, I forgot to add the Hungaroring. It's literally a mammoth calendar from a logistic standpoint. It's really crazy work that's so super stressful. You looked fully at the US one? Gotta finish it into yes. I didn't look fully at the US one. Was it a different US one? Oh, the Indianapolis road course. I'm with you. Right. The name of this channel is F1 Games PlayStation. So every now and then we have to do F1 games. I know. It gets less all the time, but eventually we have to do F1 games. And so here we are, EA Sports. Let me get my headphones. I almost blew me bloody eardrums out like this morning as well. Oh my god. Because I put my headphones in and I forgot that the computer speakers were on full 100%. Oh my god. I still can't hear properly now. And that was like this morning. Wowzers. It's only for a second. I took them out straight away, but wow. And my right ear is killing me. Absolutely. Anyway, shut up, Dave. Stop moaning about your bloody ear and just get on with it. I'm sorry. Right. Here we go. Now, as you can see, YouTube seems to have had a little interface change. We've got these little halos now around the symbols. You see that? This is new. I think this has only come on today. Little halos around all the symbols now. Fantastic. It's what we need. Halos around the symbols. Right, breaking point 3, everyone. Let's do a quick analysis. Thankfully, it's only 1:12. Cinematics and game engine footage. Not all images appear in game. Fantastic. Right. Dave, make sure the volume's not up. Well, it's not. It's at 20. Right. Here we go. Breaking point 3. Who's excited? Who's it? No one, says Will F1. Here we go.
What are you planning?
I'm just looking out for my family.
Final day of pre-season testing here in Bahrain.
How are we looking? We're looking strong, Callie. We can start to push now, so I want you to put some pressure on the Red Bulls, okay?
Each of you is going to have to step it up.
I really thought he knew what he was doing. Why would he risk so much?
We don't have time to rest on our laurels.
He used to be a maverick, Dev. What happened?
Now, just before we continue, I've just got to go back a bit. Aravu has done a breakdown of this trailer.
A maverick, Dev. What happened?
And he's been lambasted he has, by several people in the comments about the fact that Devon Butler has got this earpiece in his ear, which clearly he's forgotten that in the last breaking point, the reason why Devon Butler actually retired was because he was suffering from hearing loss. So obviously that is a hearing aid in his ear, not an earpiece. Oh my god, everyone's gone nuts in his comments. So, oh, yeah, quite a few nasty comments I have to say about that. But anyway, there you go. He's obviously just forgotten that, yeah, he went deaf. If anyone played Breaking Point 2, he started to go deaf. It was a very strange way of doing it. I didn't even understand what was going on for ages, and because he wasn't hearing the commands over the radio, wasn't he? But that's not how deafness works. You know, you don't suddenly go deaf. You gradually, over time, go deaf. The only people that actually suddenly go deaf are people that have got an illness, you know, that affects your brain, and then you do so. But if you're going deaf, it usually happens over a very long period of time. So you suddenly start noticing that you're losing your hearing. But anyway, you got lambasted in the comments. I thought it was quite funny, to be honest. But there you go. Right, continue.
Threatening my career. Now, why does that feel familiar?
You can't play a butler.
I wasn't. I'm not trying to.
You know, I'd sacrifice so much for Formula One.
Motorsports aren't doing enough here.
What is it?
You don't beat Red Bull by copying them.
And there's contact and into the gravel. Callie Mayer makes history.
I think Connor Sport needs a change of direction.
Wow, fantastic. So there you go. Breaking point 3. Everyone also in the comments on Alva's video wants Aiden Jackson to actually come forward and win the championship, because obviously the whole breaking point story started with Aiden Jackson. But of course that's not going to happen because the women have got involved, and of course it's obvious that this Callie, what's her name? Callie Jackson, is it? Is going to come in and win the championship. That's obvious because that's, you know, you can see that's how the narrative story is progressing. Because let's face it, it's not Shakespeare, is it? This story that started on F1 21. Yes, F1 21. Was it called 2021? But I can't remember. Anyway, that story started on F1 21, and as I say, it's not been Shakespeare. Let's face it, it's been your classic video game narrative story, which means simplicity squared. Basically, it's really, you know, it's nothing complicated to try and work out, is it? But there you go. Breaking points. Take my headphones out. Breaking point. Pre-order F1 25. It's like 90 quid on the PlayStation store. I was looking at it the other day for this Lewis Hamilton iconic pack or whatever. That's crazy. No, it's 80 quid. They're offering it to me with a 76.24, so I think with a discount. But it's 80 quid. 80 quid for the iconic edition. That's just unbelievable. The standard one is still its usual £70, because I was looking at the standard, because I never buy these iconic edition rubbish because it's just not worth it. It's just not worth. And if you really want it, you can buy it later on anyway. You just add it to the game that you got. So I never do though. I never do. I just carry on with the base game. I can't be bothered. But so there you go. Breaking Point. Yeah, we're all excited. It's had 83,000 views already. Only released today. Let's see what some of the lovely comments say, because that's what we look at, don't we? The comments. Give Aiden a deserved respect. Yes. Aiden Jackson. It started with him, so it should finish with him. Hopefully Callie is a lot less insufferable this time. Woo! Woo! Don't let Paddock 43 see that, or they'll be pressing their feminism buttons. Mew 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 mew. Typing in, what is wrong with you? Can't wait to buy this in a year on a massive discount. Hope Callie is more likeable this time out. Yeah, she was pretty insufferable in Breaking Point 2, if I remember. Pretty insufferable. But then, that's like most women. We need a Jordan livery in tribute to the late... Yeah, we do. Codemasters, sort that out. Sort that out. Get that ready for release, please. We need a Jordan livery. Hyped for sure. This game looks to actually be an improvement. Love the updated tracks and also happy with Bahrain Turn 2. Finally fixed after years. There you go, you see. Mr. Ashton McKee, he's hyped for the game. He's hyped. There you go. You got one sale already, Codemasters. That's the kind of story I want for career mode as well. Yes. I'm actually excited. I love Breaking Point. I just want more variety instead of there being a one set story. We got a heart from EA Sports, but have we got a reply from EA? No. No. They never reply. Made Aiden an idiot. You don't beat Red Bull by copying them. Try turning out to Racing Point in 2020. Oh, yes. Oh, I thought that was Mercedes they copied, though, not Red Bull. I thought it was Mercedes. I hope the handling feels better. Yes, so do I. So do I. Although I have to say on the pad it feels okay. Butler looks amazing. Now look at this. This is typical EA. Look, as soon as I get a good comment, they will either put a reply or heart it. Looks amazing. Hopefully the difficulty is a bit higher this time. Have they actually replied? Oh, they have replied. Oh my goodness, this is very rare. We've rebalanced the difficulty settings this year, adding a harder difficulty option. Hell yeah, time to get obliterated by the AI more often. It's amazing news. We've rebalanced the difficulty settings. I thought F124 was... just because I'm getting old, I suppose. But I thought F124 was bloody difficult. F all the fluff. How's the AI and handling? That's what I like to see. Pedro Pascal plays Callie's dad. Well, he plays with everything else, so it might as well be. It's a movie. Shall we watch a movie, baby? Very excited. Wow. Wow. So there you go. That's some of the comments. Yep, okay. "2024 Street Championship saw Norris fit." God, I just scrolled up since I was reading it. Go back one. Come on, go back one. Oh, you stupid. Go back one. The hell is going on with this pointy thing? 2024 Street Championship saw Norris finish with 121, Leclerc with 122 and Verstappen with 122. Verstappen takes street title by 2 wins to 1. The ones who are on standby are Durban in South Africa, Monaco, Germany and Hungary. Yeah, some F1 game footage for a change again on this channel. Yes! Another story that I have no interest in, says Planet Plessy. Absolutely. No Monaco, no Germany, no Hungary is a disgrace, to be honest. There you go. Who other than Arava? Yes, who other than Arava would get controversial comments? I don't know. These storylines seem to be so meh. Well, as I say, it's your basic computer game storyline, isn't it? It's certainly not anything Shakespeare, is it? It's just, yeah. It's like soap opera storylines, isn't it? It's really not something that swings me out of my stall there. Nah. I really do like they implement Breaking Point into the career mode series. Didn't get me wrong from a content POV, but it's somehow not getting me hyped up. I agree. I forgot about adding Monaco, to be honest. Germany I couldn't justify adding given the lack of German drivers currently in the F1 ladder. Hungary I also forgot, and to be honest, it's effectively being replaced by Turkey. I want Aiden to come out. He's obviously gayer than RuPaul. Germany need race for the previous drivers and their motorsport heritage. Won't be buying this rubbish, says Planal Plessy. Would rather play F105. F105. Interesting. I can't add any more. 21 is already a lot as is. I still prefer the older games from Studio Liverpool, to be honest. I really do, not going to lie, because they charge so much cash for nothing. Crazy work. It is. It is. Couldn't agree more. The EA bots are out. Yes, the EA bots are out. EA bots just... Well, look, as long as it's constructive and fair criticism, if I would be in EA shoes, also would not be shy to reply or like certain comments, but it's always a give and take, in my opinion. In the end, it's their job to improve the game. It is their job to improve the game. If I was in charge of F1 game development, I'd have the team play some of the older F1 games from Sony in order to try and inspire them to transfer some of the simple fun and simplicity over. Yeah, you see, this is the problem. This is the problem. Over-complicating the game. Now, if anyone saw the latest PS Luton Rules video, I'm not going to advertise it. Well, I am going to advertise him. But PS Luton Rules is a YouTube channel. In fact, I better be good and show you, because I'm talking about someone in the third person sense, and you have no idea. Some of you will have no idea what I'm talking about. Obviously. So let me get his channel up. Will F1 will be happy with this. Yeah, it's Will. I'm talking about PS Luton Rules again. Here he is. Oh, he's called PSL Racing now. Here he is. He's just put a video up 4 days ago about F1 Manager. I know this is a completely entirely different game. Bloody advert. Skip.
Only
skip,
Black
skip.
Mark. Antonelli.
And turn the volume off because we don't want to hear him. But he's done a very comprehensive video. It's 53 minutes long about F1 Manager. And apparently, now they did improve it with lots of patches, but when this game comes out, it was absolutely eaten through with bugs and glitches. Absolutely eaten through with bugs and glitches. And the reason for that is clear. The reason is because they overcomplicated the game. They put too much in it, and there's just no way that the coding for the game can stay on top of it, because they just, and that's exactly what they've done with the F1 games now. They just put so much rubbish. They ladle in all these extra features that nobody wants, nobody asks for. No, nobody wants, nobody asks for. We just want a racing game that is fun to play, and the AI in career modes, because that's all I play basically apart from online, is career modes, is fun and exciting. I mean, I would love a career mode where you started in, I don't know, 05 and went through all the seasons only on the F1 25 game engine, because I think that would look brilliant, especially with the older cars. But of course, it would never happen because of licensing problems. They'd have to license all the cars, the seasons, all the sponsors. The absolute nightmare. But I would love to see that. That to me would be the perfect F1 game. So we can't have that. We can't have that. And I understand why we can't have that. But we just want a playable game. We don't want all this development shit either, because that's all it is. It's all flotsam. It's all flotsam and jetsam. We don't want all this development stuff. What we want, if you want to put development stuff in, put it in, but leave it as an option for automatic. I know you can do that, but I always do it manually. But just leave it as automatic, so all the developments will just go on the car, because it just takes away the driving. Now the driving takes long enough sometimes in these races as it is. I mean, I'm doing an F1 24 career at the moment, and when you've got the sprint rounds as well, because as you know, for 24 the sprint rounds are actually completely separate. I'm only doing 35% races, but it's literally taking me 2 hours to go from practice to the sprint to the race, and to get that done again, and I have to record the replays as well, of course, but that only takes like 20 minutes on the end. But it's literally 2 hours now it takes during the sprint round to do the whole thing. So the racing takes so bloody long anyway, just as is. And then you've got all this development stuff, and oh my god, it just takes forever. And then of course you've got the fact it's over 10 seasons, which is like 224 odd races, which is crazy. Even if you did one a day, it'll take you nearly a year to get through all 10 seasons. It's just madness, absolute madness. Who's got the time to do that? No one. No one. So just get rid of all that shit. Make it all, if you've got to put it in there, make it all automatic. And for God's sake, with the sprint rounds, because I'm not really interested in them, but there's no way to skip them. Make this, either skip them or leave it so you can simulate the sprint rounds, so you can get back to the racing, because oh my god, I can't stand it. Obviously I can't simulate when I'm doing it for YouTube, because unfortunately the AI robots don't seem to make the races go how they should be going, so I have to play through them. But yeah, if you're doing it normally without putting it on YouTube, just leave an option so you can just skip through all the sprint and shit and just get on with the racing, because it's just boring. It's just boring. Get on with it. That's what I say. But that's what we need. We need a career mode, a simple career mode, not 10 years, 5 years. I say 10 years is a lot of crap, because those developments, you've done them within 4 years anyway, and it's all done. There's nothing else to do. So 5-year career mode, and just make it simple and make it fun. But more important than that, make the AI so they actually bloody race with you, instead of just forming these huge DRS queues and you can never catch them. It's just so stupid. So stupid. But yes, I agree. Go back to the old games and see how they play, because they were fun. They were fun and they were simple. That's why they were fun. There was none of this other bullshit. Anyway, I'm showing Luton Rules' video in the background here, just to tell you that yeah, it was when it came out, it was eaten through with bugs, because they just put too much in it. They just put too much in it, and that's the problem with the F1 game today. They just put way too much. Anyway, if you want to watch his video, go check it out. But it's very long, very long, 53 minutes long. But yeah, he goes into explain F1 Manager, but it's the same with the F1 game as well. I've noticed several bugs keep cropping up in the F1 games. It's just ridiculous, really is. That's true, I agree on this, says Channel 2. It's like Toka race driver with the McCain family. Yes, it is just like the McCain family. If anyone remembers the original Toka race driver, it had a narrative story. They actually ditched it for the second and the third ones. Well, they didn't ditch it, but the story was sort of, a lot less in those follow-up games than it was in the first one. The first one was an actual narrative story that they tried to convey, but it was a very simple story, Dad dies, the sons carry on the racing tradition, and then at the end, this bad guy comes in halfway through the season, and he was the one that took out his dad and killed him, and oh my god, it's just so cliched. And then in the end, of course, what was his name? James Randall. He gets carted off in the back of a car as if to be disposed of mafia style into the nearest river, or I don't know, wrapped up in a bit of carpet and chucked into a skip. That was the impression that you got anyway at the end of it. But it was so cliched, it was unbelievable. But that was the first time I think Codemasters, as they were back then, tried to do a narrative content, and yeah, it was okay. And that's basically what they're doing now with Breaking Point. Nintendo Switch 2 doing its thing. Get them to play some older racing games in general. The First Grid, Gran Turismo and Toko. 43 lesbians. Down with yes, down with PSL. Yes. If anyone doesn't know, I saved his channel. One of his most popular series. I'm not going to go into details because I've said it very many times, but I saved his channel, and now he doesn't talk to me. No, I've sent him loads of messages, doesn't even reply. No, because he works for The Race now. The Race, you've seen it, the YouTube channel, and they've got their own website. The Race, very, very popular, million subscribers on YouTube. So you can't moan at stuff like that. If someone's got 1 million subscribers on YouTube, you really can't bash them too much, because that's a very hard achievement to get. So yeah, The Race, and so he works for them now. So he's got a proper job. So he can't be bothered to, menials like me. No, it's just, oh God, it's Hookster. No. I know this channel. He does great uploads. Yes, he does. Great uploads. PSL, it's been a while since that name was mentioned. Yes. He's a rat. Yes, he's a rat. Ratty, rat. Yes, I quite agree. PSL still uploading? Yes, he is. But very, very occasionally now, because as I say, he's a proper journalist now. He works for the Race. Yes, The Race. Very posh, high up, hoity-toity. So he hasn't got time for the little people anymore, like me. He hasn't got no. I have so many messages I've sent him, not even a reply, not even an acknowledgement, not even a look at my message. Where you get the little, they've seen your message on some of the message platforms. Not even that. No, he can't even be bothered. No, he probably sees it's me, and he's like, no. Oh no, I work for The Race now, don't you know? Yes. No, I can't be bothered with that kind of stuff. What has he done wrong? Snubbed Dave off after a while because he thought he grew too big for him, basically. Exactly. Another one of 43 lesbians' favourite guys. Just typical F1 YouTuber mindset, full of ego. That's sad to know. I read it sad what greed can do to certain content creators. Flotsam and jetsam, Dave. Yes, it's so true. The career mode needs to have a limit on the teams you start with, like they used to be in the Sony ones. For example, having to perform a trial for either Haas, Williams, or Sauber. That's true. Yeah, when they released those restrictions, I think it was 2014, wasn't it? Yeah, it was fine up till then. 2013, you had a limit to what teams you could join at the start. That was great. Because you had to start in a toilet car. You had to start in a toilet car. But then they got rid of that in 2014. It was like, oh, you can drive whatever you like. It destroyed the immersion because obviously most people went, oh, I'll go for a decent car instead. Then I still went for the crap one because I just prefer that sort of that journey from crap car to getting better and what have you. But yeah, it just destroyed it. And I think I've just noticed, because I've just finished the 2024 season, they have gone back to that now. I won't go into too many details, but yes, now you only have a limited amount of teams that you can join, just like the old days. Yes, there you go. Nobody has time for this. That's really unnecessary. Yes. Life is way too short and precious. In modern times and day and age, they really put way too much nonsense in it. What nobody wants and nobody asks for is what you just said. They need to give you the option of having development on or not. Yeah, they do. Development on or not. Or just automatic. I think you can do the development as automatic. I've never actually picked it as an option, so I don't know. But I think you can do it so the car develops automatically. And I think that would be better, because it just takes so long. Oh, let's put this ECU engine component on the car and let's make it have absolutely no difference to the car whatsoever. Because it doesn't. None of those parts make any difference to the car whatsoever. Nothing at all. I've put loads of parts, 122 parts. I've put loads of car parts on the car, and it feels exactly the same. It's just smoke and mirrors. It makes no difference. So yeah, just make it automatic. If you want to put your stupid development parts on, just make it automatic. A lot better. The V-car drivers have been losing time crisis to the rest of the team. The old racing games had so much better stories. It all used to be so cool and simple and fun. Yes, indeed. So much more aura and flair. And so how does he work for the... Oh, so he does work for the race. Sorry, my brain's getting frazzled there. Oh, so he does work for the race. Yes, he does work for the race. Yes, he's apparently their editor. So he edits a lot of the videos. Yes. And he also does occasional posts on their website as well. Sometimes if you get to read some of their posts, it always says before the post starts, written by something or other, and then sometimes you'll see written by Nathan. I can't remember his second name now because I'm trying to revise him from history, but yeah, so he works for the race. The race is on, and they haven't got 1 million subs. They haven't. I thought they did have 1 million subs. Let me check that out. Perhaps they've lost a load. I'm sure they had 1 million subs. Maybe it was a fever dream. Maybe it's a fever dream. Let's have a look. No, here they are. There you go. Look, they've actually got 1.21 million subs. Yes. They did unfortunately get a lot of subs from WTF1 when they went to shit. So yeah, a lot of the subs there went over to the race. So there you go, 1.21 million subs. Fantastic. And now the bastard doesn't want to talk to you. No. Posh, top secret. The Sony games had a ladder sort of narrative to their career mode. They did. You're going to make the F1... Shh. No. Shh. It's a secret. It's a secret. I haven't revealed anything yet. I have said that something will be happening, but yes, not yet. Shh. Sonoda was more at fault of incident with Gasly, by the way. Hello, Mr. Lucas Porster. Well, when is the next episode of the All Seasons career? It is on this Sunday, and it's the final. If I ever get it finished, anyway, it's the final of the F1 23 career mode. I mean, final. No more episodes of the F1 23 career mode will be on after this Sunday. Yes. So that's it. Last episode. No one cares. No F1 channel is on a million. Bar maybe the official F1. Really? Am I that out of touch with F1? Yes, you are, because they're on 1.21 now. Yes. I remember when I got to a million, that was about 6 months ago, I think, something like that. They got to a million. From WTF1 to P1, I do watch their podcast also here and there. I'll send through my F1 2025 Championship standing predictions. Okie dokie. Blimey! Is that the time? Yes, it is. Okay, everyone. I've got to say goodbye. I had no idea the time was pressing so much. But it is. It's almost 11:15. Anyway, I'd just like to say thanks so much for watching, everyone. You've been awesome as always. And for me and Mr. TB the Bear. Yes, TB the Bear. Now, of course, no Formula 1 this week. Yeah, boo. Boo. Anyway, moving on. Sorry, I haven't given you Germans a race. All the best from Germany, mate. Oh, thank you, mate. Yes, all the best to Germany as well. Wait, show my predictions first. Well, where are they? Where are your predictions? Send them and I'll... Where are they? Oh. Alright. He's just done it now. Alright, my phone's going bleep, bleep, bleep. Wait a minute. Where are your predictions? Give me half an hour for the computer to load up Facebook. Oh, here we go. Right, here we go. It's finally loaded. Your predictions are Oscar's Pastry is going to win the championship with 483 points. Lando Norris in second with 382. Maxi in third with 361. George Russell in fourth with 305. Charles Leclerc in fifth with 279. Kimi Antonelli in sixth with 246. Lewis Hamilton in seventh with 185. Alexander Albon in 8th with 83 points. Yuki Tsunoda in 9th with 74. Carlos Sainz in 10th with 67. Esti Besti in 11th with 30. Pierre Gasly in 12th with 29. Oliver Berman in 13th with 26. Lance Stroll, 23 in 14th place. So he's only going to get 13 more points before the end of the season? Okay. Fernando Alonso, 21 points, that's doable. Isaac Hajar, 20 points in 16th. Liam Lawson, 14 points in 17th. Nico Hulkenberg with 7 points. Jack Doohan with, I don't know what that is because it's cut it off. Is it on the next page? Yeah, there we are. Jack Doohan in 19th with 3 points, and Gabriel Bortoletto with 3 points in the stake team as well. Well, there you go. There you go. Oh, in the constructors, we've got McLaren with 865 points. Wowzers. Mercedes in second with 551. Ferrari in third with 4. Where is Red Bull? Red Bull's fourth with 432. Wow. You're saying Ferrari are going to score more points than Red Bull in the constructors? That's doable, actually, because of the second seat problems. Yes. The second seat problems. Williams in 5th with 150. Haas in 6th with 56. Wow, that's a drop. 7th for Aston Martin. Visa cash out in 8th. 9th for Alpine. And 10th for Stake. Kick me up the arse. Sauber. There you go. There you go, everyone. There's Mr. 43 Lesbian's prediction. Oh. Unfortunately, my computer's decided to take a massive dump. It's saying, nope, you've been on air too long. I've lost the... oh, there it is. There's the chat. But everything else has gone blank. So I think that's time for me to leave. So I'm going to have to turn the computer off now. Look, everything's gone blank behind it. Anyway. TB the Bear. Just sent them through. Yeah, I got it. Go for them like you do the current standards. No. Just for Will. No. No. Peace out. Yes, thanks everyone. Thanks Champ92. I've got Albon winning Las Vegas in the crazy race, since we're all due a midfield winner. Absolutely. Anyway, that's it from me. Everything's gone blank on my computer screen. Hopefully I am still streaming. It says I am still streaming. Right, okay. So anyway, thanks to Mr. 43 Lesbians, Champ92. Lucas Porster, thank you. Mr. Rugal was in there as well. Who else did we have? Plynal Plessy, of course. Who can forget Plynal Plessy? Will F1. Who can forget Will F1? And, of course, Mr. GGM99. He was in there as well. Thank you, sir. I think that was everybody. Let's just scroll up. Scroll up. Scroll up the screen. Was there anybody else? Oh, yes. Polish Eddie. And I hope you start to feel better as well after your... car crash as well, Polish Eddie. So yes, hope let me know how you get on with that. And that's everyone at the top. Yes, indeed. Okay, thanks everyone. Yes, Mr. Regala says, see you all. Cheers. Your computer's about to explode and make your house look like everything else in. Yes, it is. It is. It is indeed. It's just weird. Look, can you see it? You can see it on the screen. Everything has gone black. Apart from the chat. That's very weird. I don't know what's happened. Yeah, it's all gone blank. So I think that means I've better switch it down and give it a restart. Yuki will get a podium in Las Vegas too. Fantastic. Thanks everyone for me and Mr. TB the Bear. And I will see you next week for the preview of the... next Grand Prix. It's that one with at the Dodger Stadium, innit? I can't remember what it's called. You know the one I'm talking about. Yeah, that one. Miami. That's it. I got it. Miami. The brain's going to sleep now. Good night, Lucas, as well. Thank you to everyone watching me tonight. You've been awesome, as always. And I will catch you in the next video. Thank you.